Hey there, everybody. So today I'm going to be teaching, hey there, everybody. I'm going to be teaching how to do an oil change on my car. You can go basic on every vehicle. They're all pretty much the same. So we're just going to go step by step on how to do an oil change. So this is a 2006 Ford Fusion. This one does not have a steel chamber, chamber for the oil filter. It has a cartridge. So we're going to just go over that one as well. So first step in the oil change is we're going to drain the oil from the bottom of the engine. So you need, this is what this one carries. Usually most cars carry the steel one. Let's get under this and see what we can do. So first we have to start with pulling the plug of this car. So I've got myself a it's a thing a container that I can drain the oil into, and that we're going to use to empty the oil all in there. First, we're going to loosen off the plug. Sorry for all the camera shakes. So here we're gonna pull this plug here. We're gonna drain it just slightly. I'm gonna use my impact to take that off. Make sure that's always sunk. I'm gonna be careful about the way you sink it in. It's quite loud. Okay, so what we're going to do, if it's like this, typically we just break it loose with a wrench. So I'm just going to take that off, and we're just going to break that loose with a wrench. Okay, so we're going to break it loose. I'm just going to put my wrench on here. There we go. That's broken loose. Sometimes the impact just can't quite do it. So once you have that loosened, and you want to loosened off, you want to just pull everything away, because that's going to pour out and straight back. So I usually have oil canister in. So my oil can, the collector here. Okay, and we're just going to position that guy, and we're going to drain. Okay, so now let that all drain out. There we go. You can see that pouring out. We're just gonna let that all drain. So that's the first step to the oil change. And it definitely helps to wear gloves while you're draining that out. So this will all flow into here. Oh, seems to want to leak all over my floor. That's annoying. Okay. So that's draining out nicely. So once that's drained out, then we will put that plug back in and tighten it up nicely. And then we go to the oil filter. So we have to drain these out bit by bit. Almost there. Just a little bit left. I've done this oil change on this car a few times, and I prefer to do my own oil changes rather than bring it to a shop. Although shops can be reliable, most times they are. I find that I get to see the process if I just do it myself. Okay. And that's the oil leak that I happen to have from it not pouring into this container properly. This thing isn't great for doing oil changes, but it definitely works. Okay. All right, so looks like we're complete here. I think that's gonna be good enough. I'll just replace that. We put that plug back in and move this guy back over. Okay, so next we're gonna remove this guy here. Wow, this is really tight. So next, this one's a little bit of a bugger to get off. These oil filters, I actually preferred the steel ones, but Ford came up with this bright idea to have these ones. So I got my handy little oil filter wrench. I just cup it. You see that? That should be loose enough for my hands to grab a hold. And again, have your tub here ready. There is that little hex drainage there, but we're not gonna worry about that. There you go. That's a lot of oil. So as you take in that oil, you remove that off, then automatically you get a lot of poor oil that was sitting in this filter for a bit. Okay, so it looks pretty good. So we're just gonna take this guy off. Okay. And then we're gonna grab us a rag. Okay, so that's all drained out. Next, we're going to grab the new oil filter. Okay, so we have the new oil filter, and typically, if you look at these ones, you won't see it in the camera necessarily, but you'll see lettering here around. You're gonna just use that as your up point, and the opposite way down. You're just gonna shove it all the way on. With the Ford Fusion, they have this casing, so you're just gonna shove it all the way into the tube there, just like that. And then you're gonna put this right back on. I know there are seals there, seals on here, but I don't think the seals actually need to be replaced every time. I know some will say you need to, but you don't actually have to. The seals aren't fragile. Just replace them every second or third time. That's at least what I think. But hey, so just clean that off with a nice rag. And then we're gonna tighten it on as best we can with this wrench. There we go. That's that part. So everything's done up here. Then go to the top. And here, so we have, this is the dipstick. We're just gonna pull that guy out because that guy's gonna be inaccurate anyway. And then we're gonna turn this guy off. This is where I fill my oil up. And we're just gonna grab my funnel. I misplace everything now. There. Okay, so now I'm gonna put our funnel here, and you gotta make sure that you get the right type of oil for your oil filter. For your car. So mine, it's 5W20. 5W20 for mine, and I use this type of oil. It's synthetically blended, so works really well. There we go. I know this camera's all over the place, but it's never an easy job turning on the tripod for this. Okay, so I would have that you would turn your bottle sideways when you're pouring it over the man, I really can't figure out my words today. You have to turn your jug sideways when you're pouring it into the funnel. That way it's not going to pour everywhere and all over the place. So I'm just going to hold my phone here. So yeah, so I would just turn it sideways, and then you're going to get a bit of more of a controlled spill. And there you go. Just going to fill that all the way up. I usually use this entire jug. And that's enough for this car. Okay, so now we finished the pouring that in. We're gonna check our dipstick for levels. I don't always pour it on one shot, but pour enough in so at least we get a reading on our dipstick. Leave it in there for a couple seconds. See if it all of a sudden just filling up. Okay. Looks like it's getting there. So the way I keep track of my my mileage is I'll write them down. I have a whiteboard here in the back. That whiteboard I will write down my current mileage, or I'll look at my current mileage, and then I'll just look at what it needs for mileage till I do the next oil change. So I'm hoping to get at least one more oil change done after this yet, and then we're going on a long trip down south. There we go. There you go. So that's all the oil in this guy. You never want to overfill your engine. You never want to overfill your motor oil. If you overfill it, you're going to cause compression issues in your engine, which well, obviously is going to cause some trouble. So you never want to overfill it. You always want to make sure you go to spec. You don't want to kind of cause what they call a hydraulic lock in your engine. Too much oil, too much compression wouldn't work out. So just go to spec. This one will be just under 5 liters. I did full 5 liters, which is fine, but you don't want to do too much more. If your vehicle has a different spec, I would look online for that. There's always people posting this stuff online. Anyway, that's simply it. You continue just checking your oil, making sure that your levels are good. This one looks good, it's full. Then I'm just gonna put this guy back on, and we're done. That's how simple it is. An oil change doesn't have to take very long. I know shops typically do like a top up of all your fluids, like windshield washer fluid and stuff like that. If mine looks good, and I'm the guy, then I will just check it myself. But that's it. Right on. Enjoy your Monday, guys.